Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back on the render camp for beginners. Uh, Long time no see if I haven't seen you before. If you're new, my name is Ira. Hi. So please put some pluses in comments if you're ready, if you see me, if you hear me, and everything is okay. Hello. Hi, give me some reaction, please. Let me know if everything works. If the technical stuff is working, then we will proceed and move on to our workshop. So, hi again. Yeah, okay, perfect. So, hi again, welcome back. My name is Ira, and today we will be doing this this nice image. Okay, so what I want to tell you, what I will show you, this is how our scene setup looks like. So we basically have four very big windows. If you can see it, let me show you here. Yep. So we have 4 big windows, and the light will be crossing. So that's basically the specification and of ours workshop today, how to work with light when you have two light sources that might kill the volume that you need and the depth of your camera angle. So let's start. Once again, this is our scene setup, nothing extra. I don't think I have anything hidden. Nope, I don't, and I don't really have anything set it up yet. Yep, I don't. I have only a time limit set up. That's all that I have. So let's start. I've applied one base material. What about the base material? Basically, a little bit of beige, because this is like the common color that matches all your materials between each other, and it has reflection. That's all for the base material, nothing else. What I want to do next, I will check the layers, if we have the layers, just to make extra sure. Yes, we do. And we do have a glass. Okay, so I will isolate the glass and I will create material for glass, because if we will not have our glass, we will not have our light going through. So let's start with our glass. Okay, and just white. Okay, good. Now light will come through and we basically can move on to our HDRI. We will use HDRI, and we will use HDRI from Cosmos Browser. As I already told you at previous workshops, I'm a real fan of the Cosmos. I find it very handy, especially about the HDRIs. So what we will use today? Today we will use something with not sun. Sun we don't need. Nope. Number 16, if I remember, this one. This is the HDRI that we will use. So I will import it in our 3ds Max. Okay, in progress, and let's check. Okay, it's here. So what I do then I open my material editor, I copy with instance my HDRI, and I usually, like, automatically right away when I copy HDRI, I apply Corona color correction, because maybe I will want to lower or make exposure higher or desaturate or anything. What I will also check, I will check if I have my MTL override. I will turn it off, because I already applied same material, the base material, for all of the geometry, so it's fine. Then I will check if I lock my camera. So basically, let's do that once again. I will choose my camera and just lock it. Done. I don't think I need anything else here. Oh, okay. Refractions. Let me override refractions. And I will use something like white, but not white. For those of you who will ask me, how do you set up a background? Set up a background for this workshop were in Photoshop. So soon I feel that I will record you a specific video how to do that a bit later. So yep, here we're done, and we can check our frame buffer. Here, let me do reset. This is how it looks. Actually, pretty good already. I don't know why my armchair elevating, so let's fix it. Armchair is the only thing. Okay, let me be extra sure. I'll just isolate my objects. I will click align, minimum, maximum, Z. Okay, let's check standing. Yep. Let's check once again. Okay, I think now we're good. Yep, definitely. So what I see here, I see pretty lots of light actually, because once again, we have 4 big windows. What I would love to see, I see that my shadows cross. Like I see lots of light from here, but as well lots of light from here. So what I will do, first let me probably lower or maybe rotate. Let's try rotating our HDRI. Maybe we'll have a better result. Let's see. Oh, nope, that's too much. That's too much. Another way. Not a big difference, to be honest. Okay, we'll leave it at 0 degrees. I like the bluish part here, but I definitely want to lower the intensity a little bit. So let me lower my exposure, kinda. And also I will desaturate, tad desaturate, just a little bit, maybe even lower. Okay. And now I can use my exposure here. Contrast 3. I usually do like 2 to 3. 4, super rare sometimes if your scene allows you, but not more. What else? Vignette. Okay, let's go with vignette. I will lower my access a little bit. Not dramatically, guys, like small amounts. Okay, so far so good. Let me also hide my decoration because I don't need decorations now. Not the first thing, definitely. And also place my, okay, good. Done, done. Okay, something like this. Lighting, good for the beginning. Now we will proceed to the general feeling. So general feeling, as you already know, or if you don't know, I will tell you, that's basically when you apply the basic colors of your future render. So you work only with the base color and reflections. That's your general feeling setup. How we do that? We start with the biggest parts and then we proceed to the smallest and smallest furniture parts. Okay, let's start. How I will do, I will start probably with the walls and ceiling because we have same, yeah, we have same color. Let's start with walls. Okay, walls. And definitely I will make roughness around 5, maybe 55. And a tad lighter, too much. Let's see. Can be maybe more saturation. Okay. And then let's apply the same color, but usually, guys, I prefer applying, even if you have walls and ceiling with the same material, I prefer applying different, copy the base color, but detach materials like for the ceiling. Why? Because you will want and need to control your ceiling like darkness, and I wanted to do that. So that's why I apply a separate material on it. And as you see, I've copied the same base color, but it's a bit light. So I will adjust it. A little bit. Okay. Good. Next, what do we have next? Next, we have carpet and floor. Okay, let's start with the floor and then carpet. Or carpet. Doesn't matter, actually. So I will copy my material. I'll rename it as a carpet. Carpet. And I will not use any of reflections, definitely, because it's a fabric. I don't use reflections for fabrics. And it's more saturated. More saturated. Let's start with 80 maybe, and 25 more yellow. Something like this. Okay. Maybe even more. Nah, too much. Okay. Also, you can apply sheen right away to see the nice lighting on the carpet, or you can skip this. That not super important for now. Okay, carpet done. Let's move on to our floor. We have a wooden floor. Yep. Okay. Let's copy, apply, floor. Don't forget to name your materials. Like, I highly recommend you actually name your materials. Let's start with 0.5 probably. And it's darker, way darker, more saturated. Lots of blue I see here, but let's do. What you can also do, if you don't like, for example, that it reflects a lot, you can use your IOR, like you can lower your IOR. For the base, like general feeling, I prefer staying with same like classic default IOR, and then if needed, we will lower it a bit later. But I want definitely to move it to yellow part. Okay, maybe more. Good. Then we have lots of wooden parts. And this might be tricky. Why it might be tricky? I explain you. Because the majority of lighting coming through here. So even if you have the same material on your window frames, you will probably need to use the two different ones if you want them to look more or less similar. So let's take a look. You will see that on general feeling anyway. So let me click on my wooden parts. And that will be our wood windows. Okay. Here I need them to be darker, way more saturated. Okay, and this is what we see, what we have. You see, I use exactly same material, but this one looks way, way lighter than this one. That's what I meant 30 seconds ago. I will lower IOR now because I know that I will need to do that anyway, because this is the part that is super close to your lighting. That's why we do that. And what I will do, I will select only this frame and will create additional material for it. Additional, make it tad darker, more saturated, and lower IOR more. So they will look more or less similar. Like your main part here, your aim is here to achieve more same look of your materials here. Okay, maybe more matte and a bit darker. Can be. Okay, can be, definitely. Let's move on. What do we have then? Then we have a black glossy table, as I remember. So copy, glossy, but not, I don't use like zero. Basically I use only for mirror reflections and glass reflections. Like if I need something like glossy, shiny, I use maybe 0.1, 0.005. That depends on scenario and situation. And it has to be dark. It has to be dark. It has to be black. But again, guys, I never use like super black. Never. Like if I will copy this base color, if I will use just black here, will be too much. Here I see everything because it's reflective, and because of the camera angle you will see some reflections, but this part will be too dark. And then when you will do some post-production in Photoshop, or you will try to apply like more contrast or something, this won't be changed. Like this is, if you semi-close your eyes, basically even right now the legs of your tables will be the thing that like draws your vision. Like this is the first your eyes gonna catch in this image. We want to avoid that. So that's why I never use that black in any renderings. So if you see, let me open my slot. This is black on your sphere and this is black on your table. As you see, it's different because of the lighting, because of the camera angle. Think about that. Always keep that in mind when you work on your renders. Okay, what do we have next? Then we have, I don't know how to call it, like bluish green and lots of wood actually again. So let's apply the wood on this part. I'll honestly just copy the one from the window frame. Can be, but I'll use default IR and probably lighten up a bit. And desaturate. Wow, too much. Can be darker and more saturated. Okay, and what I see now, I see that I have some nice reflections and shadows here. Well, basically I have it here, but what can it be? What can you do as well? You can use additional light source. For example, if you see that this part is pretty dark for you already, you can put additional source somewhere like here behind the window. You can. We will finish with the base colors, and then if we need, I will show you how to do that. Okay, so then window, we have sofa. Sofa might be tricky. Okay, again, sofa is a fabric, so no reflection, lower IR. Okay, green, something like green but bluish. Let's try. Let's try. This is too, ugh, no, like this. 100, 100. Close, pretty close, maybe. No, no, I think this. What you can also do, you can apply fall off right away actually. Let's try doing that. We use fall off for our fabrics, the general standard one. Let's see. Standard, default, or towards away, which one we like? Nah, default was okay. Here, will I change everything, anything? I don't think so. So let's try it working with our colors. Copy, make it lighter, but desaturate. Guys, sometimes, well, like sometimes, almost every time when you work with these vivid saturated colors, you have this issue. Let me show you the issue. Let me desaturate this a little bit. So when you copy your color and when you want to make it lighter, your falloff might be too saturated. So the only thing that you need to do is desaturate this lighter color. Not absolutely, don't do like absolutely white. No, you see, this will look very weird, like odd, super odd. Don't do that. But don't use saturated colors in here next to the white part. Not white part, like this part. Basically, we're achieving this effect now with the all fell off. This one. Okay, lighter. And wider. Now you can try your curve a little bit. Like if you want to make it a bit sharper. Okay. I would say good. Fine. Done. What do we have left? We have beige table. Okay. Table. Glossy or nope? Kinda glossy. Okay, no problem. I'll grab my base material and apply it on my table. Make it roughness, I think 0.1 or 15 probably. Let's do 15, perhaps a little bit lighter and desaturated. Let it be so. Okay, then wood. Armchair. We have a wooden armchair. Come on. Wood we already have here, so I'll just copy. It. So as you see, why I copy the already applied material, so I don't have to look for this specific hue anymore. Like I have already it on every of my material. That's basically the matching point for your renders. Okay, lighter. Saturated, pretty saturated. Okay. And we have two different materials here, I believe. This one is lighter, yep. So I'll just copy this one. This is the armchair one. And this will be the armchair 2. Let me stop my render, isolate. And let's see, is this object? Yes, this is an object, so I just can activate my polygons. Okay, I have different IDs here. Yep, I do. So I'll just select one that I need. Select ID 2 and apply a different material. And make it lighter. Not sure if this light, but let's see. And render again. And probably maybe 45 roughness. Okay, can be. Okay, let's move on. What do we have next? Here we have the wooden base. So again, I'll just copy this. This will be bench wood. Open my group. Okay, and let's work on material of the fabric right away. So this will be bench fabric. No reflections. Way less saturation. Okay, let's start with this one. Or too dark. Too dark, too gray. No. Lighter and beige. This. Yes. Okay. Let's do same to our pillows on window pillows or cushions and cushions. Mm, okay, actually, I don't know if I should change anything. Maybe a bit darker. Hmm. Okay, let's do a bit darker. Okay. And the poof. Poof. Oh, lighter. Definitely needs to be lighter. Mm-hmm. And desaturated. Nah. Too much. Okay. Let it be so. What left? Ah, the lamp. Black. Black lamp. Where's my black? Same. Roughness. I believe it's supposed to be more. And let's make it a bit lighter as well. Because you have this like contour lighting, so your colors might be darker. Appear. Okay. And what, if I could, what I would ask you, what is different between our scenario now and scenario here? If we will take a look, I have lots of lighting coming on from here, somewhere here. Like I don't see these shadows on the render, but I see them now, and it seems lighter. If you will lower the exposure, that will not help you. That will not work with your shadows. So that's not your exposure. That's your lighting. What will we do right now? I will close my groups. And what is happening? This window gives us so much light that we have that shadows that we don't need. Like I want to have more of depth. I want to have this group as the main part of the image, and this I want to have like a tad darker. What I can do, I will just block this light. You will tell me why, and I'll tell you because I don't need that shadows. Sometimes lighting killing your shadows. Well, not sometimes actually, very often. So creating extra blocking objects, that's pretty like okay for your renders. But don't forget to apply the same base color, or as I do in my projects, I apply just a different, my bad, different material without any reflections again. And I just start with like 100. I don't make it super dark black because you will not see anything. But this is our previous result before the box. And let's take a look what we have with the box. And that's what we want. What we have now, we don't have these shadows. We don't have this part lighten up that much as we do here. So for future, when you work with your projects or when you try to copy the, let me open up it a little bit, when you try copy um, existing photo, pay attention to the shadows. From the shadows, you can actually understand pretty lot. That would be super handy. But as I've blocked a little bit my light, I need to adjust colors for my fabrics because now they look too gray. Kinda gray. So I'll just clean this mess. I don't like mess, if being honest. And I'll just pick the materials that I need to work with. Okay, so this lighter. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Okay, good. Next, poof. Poof, also a bit lighter. Okay, can. Here wouldn't change anything. These fabrics also okay. Wood maybe. Let's work with the wood. This one. As you see, it's a multi-sub. Why it's a multi-sub? Because you have one object and you have applied two different materials on it. That's why. So let me just increase a little bit the reflection and maybe 140, 150. 50? Nah, 40 for base, and this one can be even lighter maybe. Okay, but less saturation. Okay, we basically have a tad difference, like not dramatic difference. Let me pan zoom. Do we? Yeah, we do. Okay. Good. Okay, congratulations, we're done with the general feeling. So what I usually do after general feeling, if you know, you know, we save. That's very important, to be honest, because as you know, 3ds Max is not that reliable sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't want to work, so save. And we need to adjust our wood as well a little bit. Let me see the wood. Okay. Yeah, something like this. Perfect. So, general feeling done. What you can do then you can basically, if you know or you want to know AI, you can use this as the base image for your AI and maybe invent and design a new design with AI, because now we have lots of that options online. But we will not do that because we just follow our ready-made design, so we will just proceed for textures. And again, same logics, guys. We start with the biggest parts of your images. So let's start with our walls and let me see what we have in our maps. My maps. Okay. Where's my walls? Sort, name, let's me type. Walls. This is what we have for walls. I usually start with a like 1 or 2 meters and apply it on roughness. Basically, we need to work with our reflections. So I usually check the reflections or reflect channel. So I can switch here and I can see if my reflections work. How to do that? If you don't know, let me open my render setup. And here you have render elements. You basically need to add the essential reflect. That's the thing that you need if you want to check your reflections like separately as a different channel. Or if you're not sure if your object mapped, you can just copy, like, use the same map on diffuse and you will see everything, so no worries. I'll actually use it as well, but I will lower the intensity of my map, so I will have some subtle patches and they will be same with my roughness. Okay, let's see, maybe I will just lower them. So even if we have a dry wall, if we have a paint, I still, no matter what, I work on reflections and I usually assign some map on reflections. Only when it's very, very new, then I can skip this stage. But honestly, probably one out of 50 cases that I skip it. Okay, good. Here we have reflections, we have some subtle spots. We can do same for the ceiling. I will use exactly the same map. But here, due to our lighting, it might be too much actually. Might be too much. Let me check. Yeah, it's definitely too much. So I will lower dramatically, like 10 to 30 maximum. Let's try 30. Maybe we will, nah, maybe 25. Okay. And that's all. I will not use any of my texture on the base color because I want my ceiling to be smooth. No patches, just reflection, subtle reflection. Here, if I will increase, that becomes too patchy. Nah, smaller. Now also pay attention what I want to mention, that we work on a very like tiny piece of the wall. Like we basically don't see the big space with the wall. If you will do same, but on your main image, the general image, the hero one, as I usually say, and you will have way more of wall, you will definitely need to use some randomizer for your map because otherwise you will see tiling. So mark that as well. Here is not necessary, but for the big parts of your walls, your ceiling, whatever, it is quite necessary. Okay, let's move on. Move on to what? Let's move on basically to our wood. This. Let's start with this one. And what we have for this? Okay, we have two textures, wood window, colored and black and white. Okay, let's start with the black and white. It will be our roughness. And let's start with, it's a square one, so I will start with just meter, I believe. 1 meter, base roughness. And let's zoom. Let's zoom and switch to reflect. So it will be way easier. Okay, pretty, not bad, actually. What is important in wood? You need to have these wooden reflections, the feeling of the wood. So without even texture on your base color, I want to know that this is wood. So this is what I'm talking about. Maybe we should increase it a little bit. I don't know. Let's try. Meanwhile, guys, if you ask me any questions, I'll get back to your questions just after the workshop. So don't think that I'm ignoring you because I'm not. I will answer your questions. Just feel free, shoot them in the chat, and I will read them after we're done. Okay, what we can do? We can control the reflection a little bit. How we can do that? We can do that with a output. You will see lots of an output today, probably. So let me try and see what we can do with this. Just enable color map. First, I'll just try to change these parts closer. Also, if you don't like the noise on your interactive render, you can turn it off. But then your image will be pretty noisy for the fast render. So I don't know, like I'm not a fan of it. I prefer working with the noise on an interactive render. Then I do the test high resolution. And if all good, which happens, but not every time. Sometimes you see that something is floating or you forgot to, I don't know, turn on something. then you have to adjust it and render your 5K again. Okay, let's do here. Basically, long story short, how output works. I'll switch it back. This is your dark parts. Dark, like black, means I work with roughness. So that means the black will reflect. White will not reflect. So if I make my white higher, I have a more contrast and matte result. If I lower my black, I will have more reflections in my map as a result. So this is how output works. You can use different methods, you can use different options, you can use additional dots if you want. The only thing I want you to follow and remember that you need this pattern, and you need to take a look what exactly will be reflecting. Like as now, let me even zoom more. So it's this way or other way. Usually, if you see these big knots or something, they don't reflect. Just it. But you will see that on your render, so no worries. I can switch to beauty. So this is what I mean with wooden reflection. When I have only color and reflection, and I already understand what material is this. This means you can move on, or you can lower or work on your wood if you're not that look that you want to achieve. But as for me, I will maybe lower the intensity a little bit. To be honest, you'll barely see it actually, but okay. This is too much maybe. Let's see here. If you will put, okay, couple more about output and then I proceed, I promise. You can also move your dots like more to the left, more to the right, and basically also control your or up, for example, or down. And with the same thing, you control the reflection level of your map. Or if you don't like output, but for example, perhaps you're on a good terms with the Photoshop, you can do same thing but in Photoshop. Not a big deal, honestly. I mean, not a big difference because this you can also adjust in Photoshop. Okay, what I can do, I can copy my diffuse color. I can use my color map. I'll definitely need to adjust the color, so I will use color correction right away. Okay, and now we see it's too red. Ah, this is without. Honey, like honeyed wood. This is with too red. What we can do, we can shift hue, maybe to 5. Also, I want to make my image darker. Can, maybe too much, maybe 8. And also what I usually do in every project, I mix my base color from general feeling with my texture. That makes it even more like closer with color adjustment. Make it easier for you to have like make friends with materials. I call it make friends. Okay, this one done. Let's do same thing to the other one, which we used, but we will definitely need to work on it. Okay, let's try with the same roughness. I don't know what will happen. Maybe it will not work. Let's see. It will. Lower. Not that strong. Here, after you adjust your contrast in the texture, you can also, you're free to lower the intensity of it in your maps. That's also not forbidden. That's okay. Okay, let it be. And then same with the colored one. But what I can do, I can copy my colored one, or I can copy color correction and apply another color correction, which I will do actually. And here. Okay, what we have? Definitely darker. Okay, maybe too much. What if I add some saturation? Will it be good? Pretty good. Okay. Let it be so. Do we have? Yeah, we do have mapping here. All good. Mapped chamfer we have. Okay, fine. What's next? Delete this. Then I will proceed to our floor. Let's work on the floor. A tiny part of it, but still. And we have these planks, flooring planks. So same, we start with the reflection. And today we'll use what? I'll use the general multi-texture standard one. Where is it? Yeah. How to work with multi-texture? You need to manage textures, you need to add bitmap, and then I will 1 to 10. Okay, 1 to 10. Wait a little bit, close this window and connect to your roughness. Oi, glossy. Okay, let's zoom and turn, like, switch to reflect. And let's find, let me see the biggest spots. Okay, actually can be, but let's adjust a little bit again with an output. And for example, I want to make it a bit more, well, maybe mate, or no. Okay, something like this. Let me see the beauty one. Basically, I need this reflecting spot. Other parts won't help me much, if being honest. But again, guys, don't expect much from interactive render. Like, you will definitely need to render this in high resolution to see the normal like quality of the image. Okay, same for the colored one. And here as well, we definitely will need to adjust the colors. It's too yellow, too light. So let's do the color correction and then connect all these here. Okay, darker, advanced, and a bit darker. I definitely don't want my texture be that, like, aggressive, I would say. So I will lower maybe half. Let's see. Can be. and darker here. And let's take a look, like a general look. Also, as I said, one of the fast ways you can try lowering your IR. But guys, if that's something like wood, don't go too low. Like, don't turn it off, because this will be like too matte. You don't need such a dry feeling. So firstly, anyway, try to adjust this part. Then you can lower your reflections here. And then only lastly, you can lower your IR. Okay, good. Carpet. Let's deal with the carpet because it's pretty big. And what do we have for the carpet? Carpet diffuse, normal. And bump. Okay, let me use these three. 1, 2, 3. 3 textures. And let's start with normals. I will try tiling first because it's a downloaded carpet if I remember, but I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me check. Hi. Is it? Yeah, it's mapped. So carpet we have in tiling. Okay. Same. Maps for normals. If you see this purple maps, you need these Corona normal map, because other ways that you will not see the result. And you apply it to base bump. And again, guys, bump and displace, very similar things, but displace is more dramatic, gives you more dramatic results. uh Number one, important, you need to tick on this gamma to input, because otherwise the outcome might be different. Number two, be careful with bump, please. Bump impossible to adjust on interactive render. You will definitely need to click the area or render a high resolution test. Bump may affect your color. If you use lots of bump, as you see now, it's very strong, it's one, it will affect your base color. So keep that in mind as well. I usually start with something like 0.2, but what I want to do, I will use additional map as well. Now it's pretty big, because if I will zoom, I will see the I will see something like a dinosaur skin. I don't want to see any dinosaurs in here. So let me try. Okay, show shaded material. It's too big. We need to increase tiling definitely. Or you can use a triplanar, one or another. But you need to use same tiling, because I think we use same. Let me check. If we use, yes, we use pretty same textures. So we need, okay, 5. We need to decrease it. And now what will happen? You will tell me, but now I don't see anything. Yes, because you have denoiser on your interactive render, and that's why you will need to render high quality or region to check your carpet bump. Basically, I call it setup, blind setup of the carpets. It's usually like that. Okay, let's believe it will work now. What I will also want, I want to adjust, I want to put some texture on my base color, some spots, some patches. Yes, but but let me take a look at this. It's the same one. We used 5. 5 might be too much actually. Or no. Okay, let's try so. something like that, maybe more. Mm-hmm. And we need to what? We need to adjust the color, definitely. So what I can do, first thing I want to show you is how you can impact on a color. Like if you have a color from general filling and you want to use same color here, what you can do, you can use composite for that cases. So let's use composite. Let's create one new layer and then maps Corona color. In Corona color, you put same color as your base and connect it to layer 2. But then you need to choose, like to change your blending mode here. You can go with average, you can go with color, you can go with spots, whatever, anything works. What's the difference? Look, this one was just a texture that we had, and this is the texture with the color from the base. This is how you can adjust it. What you can also do, if for example you don't like the patches, like it's too dark for you, for example, you can lower the opacity of your patched texture. This is low-key Photoshop, like mini Photoshop. uh, Very handy. I use it on my daily basis, I believe, so use it, recommend. What I want to do next, we've changed the sheen. We used sheen, as I remember. Yes, we do. So I want to have same texture but lighter in sheen color. What I can do, I will connect it to color correction and use it as the sheen color here. And what I'll do, I'll just make it lighter. So what it gives us, you see, this part, like carpet is also a fabric, so it doesn't reflect. But if you don't do fall off, or you don't do as I didn't do here, as you see, because it's flat. Carpets usually flats, they're not like wavy, they don't have any folds or something. When it's flat, I recommend you using sheen. Partly you can use only color, or you can do as I did now, like you can just copy your color from the base and make it lighter. Everything is possible, but use it, because let's see, without this part and with, if it's too strong and you wanna like calm it down a little bit, first thing you can do, you can just reduce the gamma for your sheen color, or you can lower amount in here, for example, like I don't know, 0.2. But this I don't recommend. This you can do, but this I don't recommend. Okay, move on. Let's do the wood. Let's finish with wooden parts, and then we will have only fabrics for last. Here, wood. And what I will tell you, maybe we will try to apply the same wood as for our windows. Let's try, but adjust it a little bit. So, okay. Here, roughness. And let me zoom once again. If I see anything here. Oh, I will not see anything here, actually. What I can do, if you want to light up some of your objects, like for example, now here is pretty dark. I have some lights here somehow. And the color is weird, actually. Is this the color that we need? Nah. Let's adjust it. Yeah. Something like this. What you can do, as I told you, you can create additional lighting source. So let's try. Let's try rectangle, small one. You don't need a huge one. I'll just create a rectangle. Let me mirror it so it goes inside. Outside of the window, basically you will not see it, so not really matter. Let it be something like this. And here I usually start with 4 4. I don't know, don't ask why, but it's my to begin with number. Definitely will need lower intensity. Here again, don't really care because it's outside, like outside of my camera. So what we have now? Okay, but too strong. Let's reduce 5. Okay, pretty close. Let's do 3. Let's do 3. Let's try to make it more direct. Too much, I would say. Maybe 45. Okay, 45. I'm good with 45. Agree. So let's get back to our reflections. What we have now. Again, pan zoom. If we will see anything, of course. We see something. Okay. Definitely need to be adjusted. Let's make it. No. I wanna. No. I need a different one. So this goes here. Yeah. And this is the new one for yes. Okay. What I can do here. Let's make it a bit more reflected. Again, you won't see much because we don't have light here, but reflections on the sharp angles like the tops you will definitely see. And same thing about the diffuse, but we will need to adjust it. So let's see what we have. Too dark. Too dark. Let's keep this one. Okay, better. Better, but lighter. And more yellow. Can be. Maybe a bit saturated. Okay. Something like that. Is it? Okay, good. Then we have our table, another table, and fabrics. Okay. Oh, and let's actually see if we have, everything is good here. Yes. Okay. So our table, almost glossy. The only thing I want what I want. Where is my side table or coffee table? Coffee table is that one. Walls, armchair. Let's use this one. This one for the roughness. I want some patches on it, but not a dirty look. Like this is old and dirty look. No, we don't need this. Reflection works good, perfect, but way weaker. I need something very, very subtle. If you will wait, Still, if you work with the interactive render, but you will wait a little bit, you will definitely see the result. Okay, maybe even more. And one. And I think we need to do this black line. We don't have it, don't we? Yeah, we don't have it. Okay, no worries. Isolate object. Go back to poly. Same ID. Select ID3. And just use, you can copy this one. You can create new material, that doesn't matter. But you need to make something dark. Is it? Is it? Is it? Let's see. Okay, dark. Yep. Reflection. Have, maybe I will. What I usually do, I prefer to have a shadow gaps nearly everywhere. So I'll just put this like 1 mm up. So it's not absolutely elevating, but we have this line, like shadow line, under the object. Okay. Now, coffee. Coffee table is kind of weird because it's bumpy. Like this one is something like a glossy liquor, like a paint. And this one is bumpy, glossy and bumpy. What we can do? Base, I will leave as is. I basically need to change the top. Okay, let's take a look. What do we have as for the top? Okay. Do we have, okay, it's a group. Let me open the group and use same select ID 2 1. Okay, we have a different ID. Perfect. So I can copy the base for my table, turn off, close the group, leave the isolation. And what do we have? We have normal map for with this bump. But also, actually, you can try simple noise because this is something very, very similar to noise. So let's try the noise first. And if no, we will use the map. Noise is a standard one. So, where are you? Here it is. Noise, bump. Very easy. Too big. How to adjust the size? Here. Let's do 50 maybe. No, 100. Similar? Pretty similar. Maybe 125. Okay. And definitely not that strong. I want to reduce the power of it. Oh, maybe 4. Actually, this is absolutely same thing. Lots of people asking about the glaze tiles. Guys, if you need a glaze tiles, this is how it's done. Absolutely same. Just you put a different color and you have a glaze tiles. Okay. Actually, it's fine. I don't see, like, we don't have any bonus image on this table, so I would just leave it as is. But, okay, we can use the texture if we have it. Let's change to Corona normal. And this will be additional bump. And here we will use that one. Tiling probably. This. I will not see anything, of course. So let me just turn off this part and take a look. It will give you a small details. Okay, can be nice actually as well. So fine. Let's leave it, both of them. Color reflection, nothing. You can add some map on reflection, but your bump doing a lot already, so I don't think that will be like super important. Okay, deal. Done with this. What do we have left? The armchair. We have the armchair. This is the base. For the armchair, we have two images as well. So let's start with, I don't know. Let's start with mirror, 1000, roughness. And let's take a look if it works. Where I can take a look at this. Actually, I'll see here. I will see here, and I see nothing, to be honest. Do I see anything? No. Let's try tiling. Okay, now I see everything I need, but the wrong direction. Yeah, it's the wrong direction, so we just rotate. I will not use mapping or something, I'll just rotate my texture, honestly, here. Okay. Okay. Then I can check the reflections. But again, you won't see much of them. Here. See? Yes, I see. Okay. Good. Maybe too much. Same for the diffuse, but guys, don't forget, if you rotated your image here, you have to do same here. Otherwise, your maps won't follow each other, and that's not good. So, general color correction, because we need to adjust the color. Can be. Let's see if we need to change. It can be a bit darker and a little bit reddish. So in color correction, I will lower my gamma like this and move to the left, like -2 maybe. So it's more reddish. Okay. Nah, maybe too much. And maybe desaturate, but a little bit because we lowered a little. Okay, can be. Same thing for this part, but this part I want to use ambient occlusion. I want to show you what's ambient occlusion basically, because I don't want it to be same color everywhere. It has reflections, okay, good, but what I want, I will copy this color and I want to show you Corona AO. What is this? Why we need it, or we don't need it. So here, what I usually do, what's happening? You will see two colors in here, black and white, only default. And you have a distance amount and calculate from. Usually, what I do, calculate outside inside the majority of times, but that depends on the situation. So you can check inside if you like. That's too dark for us. You can check outside. So it can be outside or both options. But when you need it, you need this if you want to achieve like let's imagine you have a very used, I don't know, cabinet door where you see that at the chamfer, at the corner, the color is different, it's lighter. Usually you will see that on the stairs as well, like if you have a wooden stairs and you see where people touch the stair the most, the color will change, it will get lighter. This is when you will need AO. Why here? Why now? Because I don't know. I'm not sure if it will show you. It's too low quality, but this like part I wanted it to have a different color. So what I do, I just copy. Now let's start with the black so you understand what it does. What you can change, get occlusion form. If in this scenario, I usually do only the same object. So if you put something on your chair, that will not affect it. Then, as I said, inside or inside outside. And basically then you need only to adjust the distance amount. It can be used with a map, like if you want specific texture on it. It can be used without a map. It's up to you. But sometimes the thing imitates something that we want. Okay, let's try. Let's try this. Paste, copy, and make one part. Let's make it lighter, for example, bit. Again, guys, you can skip this move. You will not see it on the general view on the hero that we have. But I just wanted to share this thing with you. So sometimes this can be pretty good as for like details if you will have close-ups. But another thing, if you have close-ups, you need to use high quality textures and you need to work on your textures a lot. So please remember about that. Okay, now the general color is too much for me. I will just apply color correction. Maybe 20. And can be darker. Okay. And again, not necessary, but you can use the some map for reflections. It will just give you uneven like spots on your material. But again, subtle one. Will I see anything? I will. Again, if you don't know how to check, you can just put the same thing for base color and you will see the result. So don't be afraid to do that. You can always connect it back. Okay. Move on. One more wood and we're done. We're done with our wood and we proceed to our fabrics and we'll be good. Okay, so here, this one. This one, I believe we had teak or something like that. Bench, yeah. Okay. Same, let me zoom. Where is our light? Here. Okay. So let's start with styling. Let's check if it will work. Does it? Same story. Okay, rotate. Now it does. Now it does, and that's good, but I need to adjust my texture. I want to make it kind of glossy, to be honest. Like, I want to, I call it like juicy reflections. So I want to have a juicy reflection. Okay. Juicy. Let's do. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe this part. Ah, it's always flying. Why are you flying? Okay. Now we're good. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take the overall look. Pretty reflective, maybe too much. Okay. Same for the base color. To red. And rotate. Rotate. And not so red. Let's desaturate a little bit. Okay, and less active. Okay. Reflect here we have. Texture we have. Okay, can be. Great. Officially done with reflecting objects and material. So we move on to what? We move on to the fabrics. Basically, we have 1, 2, 3 fabrics. Let's start with the sofa. And what do we have for sofa? We will start with the bump. Sofa 1, sofa 2, sofa 3. Okay. 3 textures for the sofa. Fabrics, I usually start with the bump. Bump is the only, like, fabric is the only, okay, not the only, but the main thing where I use bump. As you seen before, we didn't use any bump. So now it's time for bump. Okay. Maps, Corona, normal, normal. Normal. Yeah. And don't forget to tick here. And base bump, and lower it right away. I think you can start with 0.3. You can render high quality, like, and check it. I believe so. I don't know. Let me try. Maybe we'll see something. Maybe we'll not. If you want to see if it's mapped again, you can use same option. Nah, I don't need it. Okay. It will be pretty small. And here, guys, be careful because this, for denoiser, this will be as a noise. So don't use a very high amount of denoiser. You better lower the limit of noise and wait a little bit more for your bump. If you will want to add some folds or wrinkles to this, I wouldn't recommend. Here, yes, we can. Here, 50-50. Here, no, because this shape of the sofa is absolutely different. We don't need it. What we can do? We can work with this. Can we? Okay. Let's start with this, but we need to adjust the color. Maps, general color. And let's take a look what we will see actually. Okay. If I connect it to my base color, it will get dark as dark. Oh, lighter, desaturated. Definitely not so much. And different hue to the left, to the left, to the left. Something like this. Okay, what we can do next? We already have our follow. So I can use this and connect it to my dark part. What I can do then? Maybe I need to make it darker actually. Too much. Okay. Then basically you need same texture but lighter. So you just pull the line, maps, general, one more color correction. Make it tad lighter and connect it to the light part, this part. Okay, we need more of light here. Okay. The bigger the number, I will exaggerate, of course, but the bigger the number you will put here, the more this of fall off difference you will have. Don't go super strong. And you also can always lower the upper one, upper part. Okay, agree. Bump we have, color we have. Fine. Let's move on to probably to these ones, the easiest one. Sometimes actually you can also use only black and white texture and you can make it colored one. So I will try to show you this now. What do we have? Fabric bench. Do we have pillow window? Is it? Yeah. Okay. We have two textures. Here they are. Both I will switch to tiling and I will take a closer look in here. Okay, so I'll start with the bump again. We already know purple means corona normal, normal, click, base bump automatically, but pretty big, I would say. Yeah, but no, actually, let's let's wait a little bit what it will show us. So far we use tiling 1. Let's see this part. It's it's mapped this way. Okay, it's like a seam. Fine. What anyway? But what if you want to see the texture? Let me lower my bump firstly. And then what you can do. I will copy. No, I will not copy actually. I will use exactly the same one. So maps general. And as I showed you, composite layer 1. This is how you can like kind of mix. You can also use mix, but I love this one better, honestly. So how it works. Copy your base color. Use your same texture, but black and white one for the composite. Create a new layer. Then Corona color. Put your base color. And switch the blending mode. Of course, connected to your base color. Come on. And you need to switch something here. Like you can start again with average and you will see your result here. For the colored ones, if you want the colored version, I usually start with a spotlight. If it's too much, I just switch to spotlight blend, I think. No, this part, you see, doesn't work. So spotlight. And you will see the texture. You will see the texture of your black and white fabric. But I would not use 100, to be honest. I would use something maybe even less than 50. Something like this. Okay. And what you can also do, you can use sheen. You can use sheen as a color, or you can use sheen as we used already with a color correction in here. But that's not the foreground, so I wouldn't honestly bother about that. Okay, this done. Have left only 2 fabrics. Great. Let's start with this one. Have something like suit. Okay. This is it. And we have fabric bench. Okay, click, click. Same story. Absolutely same story with the previous one. Fabrics, the majority of fabrics, if it's not like silk or something reflected, kind of reflected, that looks like reflecting, they're a bit different story, but for now, the steps same, absolutely same. Here, here, bump, a bit lower, and same thing, maps, general, composite. Connect, copy, copy the color, then create a new layer, then Corona color, connect, and same color. And here, let me show you the difference. Okay, so average, something like this. Additional, you will also see the difference here, actually, here, partly. But the final result you'll definitely see here. This can work, but I would dark, like I would use extra color correction to make it darker. So far I will not keep it. Subtract, no, darker, no, it will be too dark. Multiply, sometimes can be, but in this scenario, you see, you need to make it lighter. Color burn, nah, lighten, can be, sometimes, not now. Lighten can be if you use lighten on screen, if you use the pretty contrast maps. Our map, not that contrast. Let me take a look at the map. It's grayish, like a grayscale one, so that will not work. Okay, let's move on to Spotlight, one of my favorite ones, or Spotlight Blend. Nah. Or, okay, let's try 50. Can be, actually. Can be. I still see some patches. Can work with that. Or as I said, you can change your type to color correction and make it lighter, darker, whatever you want. Let's go back to, what was it? Average was best? Or additional? I don't remember already. Additional, okay. But let's make it darker. And same thing, I would use sheen. You have options, like basically you can use sheen or you can use fall off. The only difference between this, that fall off is more like accurate to set up. Like I prefer sheen for general things if it's not at the foreground, and fall off I use if it's the foreground object. Like here we have the sofa the most close to us, so I will use fall off because I want to be specific with the curves. And as for any background, I will use sheen, and if I like the result, which I already do, so I will just leave as is. Okay, poof, our last one. And I will go read your questions. Okay, poof, poof, diffuse, bump. Okay, 2, and normal. 1, 2, 3. 3 images. Okay. What we have? Here we can start, I believe, with displays. Is this one? Let me also change to tiling and check. Okay, this we can use for bump and color. This is normal and this is displays probably. So let's start with the displays. Folds. Do we need folds? And wrinkles. We do, we can. It can be actually a pretty nice bonus image looking like this. If you use the dustle field here, you put something on the poof or on the bench, can be. Okay. When you use displays, you need to adjust the amount of display. So I start like dramatically with dramatic difference to see if it works. It does work. Perfect. Remember this, never do that. It looks like your poof needs ironing and it's not a nice feeling. Okay, so we can leave maybe 3. Still quite too much actually. 2. Maybe even 1. 1. 1 millimeter amount, you see, and it's pretty strong. Okay, can be. Then we can go to like displays. How I usually use displays, I use for something strong and general, like wrinkles. If I want something to have wrinkles on, I will use displays for wrinkles. Then I move to bump to give smaller details. In our case, we have normal, which is amazing. So I will just use, you see what's happening? Click, magic, solved. Never forget this thing. Never. Okay. I would maybe even lower the displays, but we need to do the high quality one to be extra sure. So, okay. Let's see what we have here. Same folds. Let me lower the bump. You can also use, of course, you can do everything. Again, in Corona Normal, the normal map usually gives you like stronger general effect. An additional bump, you can use different map, for example, from different model or from different library. Additional bump usually gives you details, like the smallest details. But again, you need it mostly when you have like the close up on the object. If it's somewhere there behind, you can skip it. This part I will use again for my color texture. Oh no, why color correction? No, composite. Composite. No. Okay. And let me copy the color. Oi. You're tired. New layer. Same. Paste your color. Base. Okay. And again, let's start with average, I believe. No. Additional. Bright. Too much. Overlay. Nah. Don't like. I don't like this. Can be, but needs adjustment. So literally needs way less of a texture, maybe even less. And some adjustment in color. Let me take a look at the general, but generally okay. Actually, I can just lower my mix amount a little bit. Again, use my sheen or fall off. Actually, let's do this. And this. Mm-hmm. And let's unhide my decorations. It's not a lot, it's only 2 books, which are flying probably because I've moved my table. Do you fly? Let's check. Yes. Align. Okay. I believe now we're good. Have to be good. Yes. And we are. Congrats. We're done. Oh, last thing. I wanted to show you how to use this type of pillowcases, cushions, any basically any of the let me copy texture and copy. I need an independent copy because I will use different textures. So what I will have here, very easy actually. Basically you need only tiling mod, because I see very often that people like use, and from the 3D Sky or something, you use these pictures of cushions. So what do you need to do? You need to adjust tiling. You just use your, if it's a photo of your pillow, a cushion, you need to adjust tiling. Sometimes you will need to lower it or to make it bigger, but not in our scenario. Now it fits 1:1 perfectly. You can increase it a little bit if you want. Like if you want a bigger picture, the bigger texture, you need to lower your tiling. Other thing you might need to do is to move it with offset. Pay attention to these parts. These parts usually will show you the seam, if they will have the seam. But all rest is same. You can apply fall off, you can use sheen, but all rest is same. It's a standard fabric, so nothing new in that. Now I move to your questions. What do you want to ask? Okay. Ah, how do I know the camera setup? You will have the scene, guys. You will have the scene after we will finish our workshop, which is pretty close to the end. You will be available to download this empty scene. I mean, empty without the setup of the lighting, without materials. It will be basically geometry and camera. And you will be able and available to check the camera setup, like which we used. You'll just click on select camera, go to your modify mode, and you see all of the steps. Again, nothing super difficult there. You just, for these scenarios, we use the focal more than 50, because it's not very typical, like it's not standard commercial image, it's more of an artistic commercial image, so that's why a bit better, a bit bigger focal. But again, you'll have a camera in the scene. Okay, what is the difference of beginner course and professional course content wise, like modeling, lighting, etc.? It's different things. Basically it's for different skills. Like if you're starting, if you don't know how to set up a camera, if you don't know how to change the object, if you don't know how to map the object, how to work with materials. You basically will be sent to the beginner's course. Professional visualization is for more like skilled artists. You work the on your own scene. The main difference again, in beginners, you work on the scene from the course. In professional visualization, you choose your reference. So, long story short, beginner, we choose reference for you. Professional, you choose reference for yourself. So, that's the basic difference between the courses. And another thing that, yeah, it's just you need to have a base to go to PV visualization. That's all. But yes, you check different scenarios, you check different lighting, you check different modeling issues, you check different cases, lots of different cases, because other people, they will have each reference, so automatically you will see maybe how the other student works as well. uh, may I know your computer spec? Oh, my computer spec. Surprise! Nowadays, I have a laptop. I have a Asus laptop, and I have 32 RAM, and I have AMD Razer. I don't remember which one, to be honest. Let me check. Let me check what I do have. I think I've saved it somewhere, but of course I will not find it that easily. I have a 12 core AMD Razer 9, if I believe. If you're wondering and you're curious about the specification of the PC or something, I highly recommend you just go to Corona website, and they have a Corona benchmark. Corona, let me see, Corona benchmark, and you will be able scores. You will be able to pick from the list, or you can do this. You can download your like specific app. It's a Corona app, Apple or standard Windows. You download it and you test your PC. It will give you the benchmark score like this. It will look like this. This is your score. The bigger the number, the cooler the PC. As if you're just starting, I highly recommend you have like 32 RAM and pretty good CPU, like the I forgot the name of it, the processor. So focus on processor, because Corona using CPU for rendering. If you wanna use any other render engine, as I don't know, F-Storm use, for example, GPU only. Corona CPU, V-Ray CPU, and GPU. Basically, for V-Ray, it doesn't matter. Like, you choose between them. But feel free to, and I will actually recommend you this, download this application, or you can have a list. They also have a list of already checked processors, Intel, AMD, the very new one, the very old one. So you can check if you choose between some specific laptops or PC setups. Uh, PV, do you teach modeling, lighting, shader, post production as well? Yes, do. Teacher, I want to know if the live broadcast will generate a video and then upload it to your channel. If you're asking if the video will be available after, yes, it will be available after on YouTube. All our live broadcasts, they are available, so you can rewatch them as many times as you want. Feel free. The only thing, the chat will be closed if it will not be available. So that's the only difference. But yeah, it will be. Which is the best 3D model website you recommend, or which ones? Honestly, Demian Siva, 3D Sky, TurboSquid, CG Trader, lots of them, and actually lots of models already available in Telegram groups. So here it's only up to you. I can highly recommend you, like about 3D models. Nowadays, 3D models not it's not difficult to find 3D models. More difficult to find, I would say, textures or HDRIs. HDRIs, as I told you, available in Cosmos browser. Also, oh, HDRI Haven, they have Polyhaven, all free. You can choose lots and lots here. Same, they have same for textures. Also textures.com for the textures, and CJ, let me show you. Come on, library. Fabrics, for example, I don't know, carpet. And you have plenty of options. Also, as for the, tell me, wooden planks, I would recommend you probably CG Source. CG Source, the same that you use for multi-texture and floor generator. So they have textures, plenty of textures, but basically the multi-textures wooden boards is one of the best probably on the internet so far. Or you can find a big high resolution like texture of the wood, for example, and just cut it in Photoshop if you have Photoshop, something like this. But as for models, honestly, I just use the search by image. First, I check the brand website, because lots of furniture brands, they already upload pretty decent models on their official websites, so you can start with that. If no, the I think the biggest one is 3D Sky, if being honest. um CG Trader, I don't know, CG Trader. What else we have? Okay, 3D model download, Turbo Squid, etc. Lots of, actually, plenty of options. But yeah, these are, as you see, the very first ones. 3D warehouse, lots of different ones. Can't name you one. It's impossible, probably. Okay. What is the shortcut to zoom in camera you just did? That's a pan zoom. I used a pan zoom. If you don't have, I just have a hotkey assigned on it. If you don't have a hotkey, you can just click on the plus. You can use 2D pan zoom mode. Then you will see like the black frame will disappear, and you will just zoom with the scroll. And if you want to leave, like to quit this mode, you just need to unclick it. Same with the plus next to the chrono camera here. Uh, can you share any chrono render settings for faster render? It's impossible. Faster rendering, you have to understand that the time for your render, it it's a complex thing. It depends on your scene, like how big is your scene, how many of copied objects you have. Then it depends on the lighting, how many lighting source you have, how like direct or not are they. And third one is based on your materials, like how many materials you have, how matte are they. I will tell you, the glossy materials, they render faster than the matte materials. So it all a complex one. I can't tell you, because there is no settings in Corona render. You just set the time limit or the noise limit or the pass limit. That's all you can do, and then you just wait. So to speed up, you need to optimize your scene. But again, if your scene consists lots of glass, lots of translucency, lots of transparent objects, and lighting, that will take a long. Unfortunately, you cannot change anything about that. Okay, you prefer make wrinkles with texture instead mesh. Where can find the wrinkles texture you used? Yes, I never like, if I don't if being honest, I'm not a fan of wrinkles. Let's start from that. Uh Also, you can use the displace modifier to create wrinkles, but that's basically for plain objects like carpet, for example. If we need wrinkles with geometry, I'll just ask modeler to do that, or I will change the model. But usually, no, I will not change the object with mesh for wrinkles. Yeah, I will use displacement. I think I used texture supply. Let me check. Texture supply. Mm-hmm. They had some drops. You can Google them probably on the other web sources because now I don't see. Oh no, I see towel. Okay. These guys are good. I think I've used them for the wrinkles. I've bought it once years ago, and since then, if I need any wrinkles, I use them. But also you can try with wrinkles displacement. You can try Google. Feel free. And then you can even try these ones. Like sometimes I experiment with paper wrinkles as well. It depends on situation. But the other good one, actually, web source as for wrinkles, is this one, the Polygon. They have lots of assets and they are good. Like they're high quality. I don't think you'll have issues with them. So yeah, usually if I need wrinkles, it's displacement or normal bump, never classic bump. Default bump, no. Normal, yeah. So if it's about this. Okay. Any more question you have or no? What I want to show you, what I want to tell you, that soon, pretty soon, on May 19th, we will start another beginners course. Will be the main and hero image for the beginners course. So if you're you doing first steps in your CG career, please, you're more than welcome. You will basically do this image from the scratch yourself, with my help, of course, with my help and comments. Any information that if you require any more information, please leave a message or reach our project managers. They will tell you everything, and you will be able to download the scene to practice with this workshop that we've created today, also available. Also, you will have the limited time. If you attended our workshop, you will have the special offer for the project managers if you will want to attend the course. So thank you so much. Let me check if you have any more questions. First, wondering if post-production really adds realism for the final image, or it's both. uh Honestly, I love Photoshop. I can't say that I'm a fan of Photoshop. I will not redo the image in Photoshop, but I definitely love Photoshop because I believe that contrasted images, like the minimal color correction in Photoshop, always will elevate your raw render. Like you cannot compare your raw render in Corona with the Photoshop because that's two different things. You have more of settings in Photoshop. You can use with specific masks in Photoshop, which I also show on the course. We have like the last lesson is absolutely divided for the Photoshop. So I would say yes. I would say that post-production is really, really matters and elevate your raw render, definitely. So yeah, I. What's sheen color? Sheen color, it's something. Let me take. Let me show you. Okay, last thing, and I go. Good. Look. So sheen basically is an option for fabrics in 3ds Max. So if you apply, for example, no reflections, let it be so. This is your fabric. But the fabric, it has the very specific lighter color at the edges, like here, here. So that's why we use sheen amount. We use one, and then I just copy and adjust this color. Sheen color is this. What is this? If I will make it lighter, I will have this fall off on my fabric. You see this one. So this part is a sheen color. That's it. Okay, if you need more of tips and tricks, please welcome on the course, and see you next time. Was happy to help you, was happy to hear your questions. Thank you for your time, for attention, and bye bye. Have a nice day, evening, whatever. Bye bye.